Welcome everybody to Tech the Monterrey News. Today we have a very special episode. We have two special guests. The Dalai Lama on one side and we have Xi Jinping, President of China's secretary, to talk about the problem that they have between China and Tibetans. So let's start. Welcome everybody to Dalai Lama. Welcome Dalai Lama. It is a pleasure to have you here, first of all, and I was wondering if you could give me an overview about the conflict, your point of view when all of this started.
Yeah, thank you for having me with you today. I want to tell you that first, all started in 19th when we get independent from China, but then British people and Russian people started to make some plans to control us, but we had a lot of problems with them, but after 3 years we could get independent.
And I know that you have been under the power of Great Britain before, but then after that you became again under the power of China. Why does this happen?
China always wants to control us because we represent a problem to them because of religion, because we are very big and we are very important in that region. So it is important to China to keep a control with us. So that's why the Chinese always trying to be controlling us.
Oh great, yeah, because I remember that in that time, in the early 19th, the Great Britain had a lot of problems, not only with China but also with Germany. So I think that was also one of the reasons, right? Because they had a lot of problems they had to deal with.
Yeah, well, I believe it was because Britain had different problems to deal with, like Germany, and they couldn't control us anymore.
Yeah. Now my friend Rafael will make an interview with China's President's secretary to talk about China's point of view about the conflict.
Thank you, Gabby. Here I am with the Secretary of China's President. I'm going to ask her some questions about the actual problems between China and Tibetans. What do you think about Tibetans?
Well, in the early of the 19th, I thought, or the President thought that the Tibetans had a great empire. We really admired their empire and the work that they were doing. But after they were controlled by the Mongolians, we thought that they weren't that good anymore. And we wanted to help. We wanted them to keep having their power and their religion and everything, but it got out of control. But I used to admire them.
Can you tell me why did China make a treaty in 1907?
China decided to make a treaty because Great Britain had a lot of problems to deal with. It was preoccupied about Germany, and us Chinas wanted Tibetans back because of that, because we thought that Britain couldn't handle it. Also because we wanted to create a buffer relationship between India, Britain, and China.
Do you want to add something or a commentary to the public?
Yes. Most people see China as a threat and as someone bad that wants to take down other empires. And it is true, we are a great empire, but we are not bad. We are a great empire, and what we want is to prevent wars. And that's what we decided to make when we had a civil war in the middle of the 20s. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay. Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you. Okay guys, now you have heard the 2 points of views, and I am very glad that we could have this special guest in here in our studio. But now I really wanted to add, in order to conclude, what happened recently. It was the most recent attack between Tibetans and Chinese people, and this was in 2008. In China, the Tibetans were protesting peacefully, but China's reaction wasn't that friendly. They decided to attack them, and over 100 people died, and it was a very tragic thing because Tibetans were unarmed and most of them were monks, so definitely it was a tragedy. But even though all of these problems have happened, I hope as a human being that these problems get solved, because I don't think it is fair to have this type of wars. Even though China says that they don't want a war, I think this is what is happening right now in actual life. They are having a war. And I really hope that this gets solved sooner or later. Sooner or later. So thank you everybody for watching this episode of Tech de Monterrey News. I hope you have a nice day, a nice weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next news.